Nations General Assembly, on the initiative of Nurj Jinbrav, then the ambassador to the UN of Kyrgyzstan, has proclaimed February the 20th as the World Day of Social Justice, with an emphasis on the reduction of poverty. The People's Revolution against poverty has had its share of victories. Life expectancy at birth has risen in many developing countries. Education for some has resulted in rising incomes, but such education still has left the uneducated further behind. Economic growth does not help the poor when the distribution of wealth is highly unequal. The poor in many countries do not enjoy the benefits of a strong economy, but they shoulder the costs when there is an economic recession. As traditional family or clan-based welfare systems decline without new government-funded institutions put into place, many people are marginalized. The term "the People's Revolution" was officially used by Henry A. Wallace, then Vice President of the United States, in setting out U.S. war aims in 1942. This was the first time that the war aims of a state were not stated in terms limited to the national interest of that state. Wallace, who had first been the Secretary of Agriculture and who had had to deal with the severe depression facing U.S. agriculture during the 1930s, was proposing a worldwide New Deal based on the cooperative action of all humanity. Wallace said, "The People's Revolution is on the march. When the freedom-loving people march, when the farmers have an opportunity to buy land at reasonable prices and to sell the produce of their land through their own organizations, when workers have the opportunity to form unions and bargain through them collectively, and when the children of all people have an opportunity to attend schools which teach them truths of the real world in which they live, when these opportunities are open to everyone, the world moves straight ahead. The people are on the march toward ever fuller freedom, toward manifesting here on earth the dignity that is in every human soul." Today, in the demands of liberty, work, dignity, which was the cry of Tunisians demanding change in Tunisia, we hear the worldwide demands of farmers to own land under sure conditions, to receive a fair price for their crops, as well as the right to organize to protect their interests. We hear the cries of industrial and urban workers to be able to organize and to have their work appreciated for its full value. We hear the demands of students and the young for an education that opens minds and prepares for meaningful work. The People's Revolution is a wave of all moving together with deep currents below the surface. Often the tide moves with only a few visible waves, but the aspirations are collective. There are two aspects to the People's Revolution for social justice. The first is to remove current obstacles. We advance social justice when we remove barriers that people face because of gender, age, ethnicity, religion and belief, sexual orientation and citizenship. In addition to removing barriers, social justice requires developing institutions such as cooperatives, trade unions, neighborhood groups, and humanitarian development associations. The World Day of Social Justice is a call to all who believe in building rather than destroying, and who embrace diversity as a means of progress rather than as a threat.